The Square Ball Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the show. Brought to you with Levi Solicitors. 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the Square Ball. Down in Moscow with you in the studio today with Michael abroad, gallivanting around in Spain. There's his face. Look at his face.
I'm standing pretty still, mainly, it must be said. There's not a lot of gallivanting. I went to the shop this morning, if that counts.
What did you buy? Some bread, some meat, some cheeses?
Exactly. It's very stereotypical holiday food and some drinks. Yeah.
Well, did you get the limon?
Yeah, I got some Fanta limon.
Yeah,
I did.
Very good.
Got some of that. Yeah, some Coke.
Some naranja?
No Naranka. I already had some of that in. So
excellent.
Yes, all your stereotypical products.
Hope you're having a lovely time. Anyway.
If you're not getting any orangini, you're wasting your time.
We're into part 2 of the show then now, and this is the preview section. It's still a way off, actually, because we're recording this Tuesday lunchtime. Monday Night Football, Crystal Palace. They lost 2-0 to Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final on Sunday. Their season's now over. Hopefully they're going to be demoralised. We'll go there, we'll win, we'll be safe. Season over for us, and we can sit back and enjoy the rest of it.
That's the plan. That is the plan. There's no reason we can't go there and win, is there? Like you say, they've nothing to play for. Just let us win, Palace. Come on. There'll be no beds about it. You're safe. Let us be safe too.
Well, they've won 8 times this season. Beating some pretty big teams, actually. They won at Man City, didn't they, earlier this season? Arsenal they beat recently, obviously, at home, 3-0. They've lost 4 times at home. Villa, West Ham, Liverpool, Chelsea. Will we be the 5th?
They are quite an unusual bunch. How many games have we won this season?
8 as well, I think.
So, but how come they're having such a better season than us?
Because they've drawn more games. They've drawn 13. We've drawn 9.
Well, that doesn't seem fair, because the entire point of bringing in 3 points for a win whenever Jimmy Hill organised that was to reward attacking football, and that you will, if you try to win more games instead of just settling for a draw, because when you got 2 points for a win, it was pretty easy to just take 1 point. Was to put a stop to teams like Crystal Palace doing this. I feel like it's not fair, and they've done something bad and wrong.
They've got a game before us as well. It should be added to the record. They're playing at Newcastle on Wednesday, which is tomorrow as we record this. So they're going to be obviously the jet lag factor there to think about. All that travelling up there to Tyneside.
And they had that big journey to Wembley as well. That's always a tiring trip for everybody.
But
I've been following him a bit on Twitter, because I follow I think it's a 5-year plan there.
Yeah.
Palace fans and stuff, and they look like they had a nice day at Wembley. I'm glad they got there, because Man City and Chelsea fans and miserable bastards when they have to go to Wembley. They're like, oh.
But isn't it demoralising to think that the best you can get out of Wembley is a nice day out in the semi-final?
The semi-final should not be there either. No. Is the other thing to say.
You can dress up as an eagle anytime you want, really, though, can't you? It doesn't have to happen at Wembley.
When did you last dress as a bird of prey?
Never felt the need, but there seems to be a lot of people at Wembley just ready to do it, and I wonder what they're doing the rest of the time. Nobody's stopping them.
What's your favourite?
What bird would you dress up as?
I was just going to say, what's your favourite one? What would you go for? Would you go for eagle or?
Probably
penguin.
A peacock.
A penguin is not a bird of prey.
It's a bird, though.
Yeah.
Does it have to be a bird of prey?
I mean,
I think a bird, just any bird.
Just any bird. A woodpecker.
Why?
Nice choice.
I don't know. Peck some wood. Yeah. Something to do. And you come away with a product.
This is a finely honed piece of woodworking.
Yeah, maybe a boat.
Yeah.
Or a balsam plane.
Excellent. I feel like we've got a little bit off piste here. Anyway, Palace, woodpeckers. That's their nickname, isn't it?
I've got to be honest. I thought they might go down this season, but they've done well. They've had a good season.
Yeah. All it took was getting rid of boring old fart Roy Hodgson and bringing some players in.
And obviously, I mean, the subplot to all this is that Patrick Vieira and Jesse Marsch don't like each other.
Oh, do they not?
They were City rivals when Marsch was at the New York franchise of the Fizzy Bunch, and the New York franchise of Manchester City was in the hands of Patrick Vieira.
Football romance, eh?
Oh, it's just beautiful.
A real classic rivalry.
And they had a game. I think it was the last time they met was Marsch started going on in the build-up to the game, playing mind games about how Pirlo and Lampard and whoever else, David Villa, were always getting free kicks. And then in the match, the referee was not giving them free kicks. Patrick Vieira got hugely annoyed. I think he may have got sent off. Maybe he didn't get sent off.
Maybe he got sternly told off.
But he didn't. He then didn't shake Jesse Marsch's hand at the end of the game. And afterwards, he lambasted the refereeing and said that it had been refereed that way because Marsch had spent all week crying about refereeing, and he'd done it so that the referee, to get into the referees' heads. So those two.
Did Marsch as well start trash talking him about drinking wine? He might go off there and fancy drinking wine. I'm not drinking wine.
Yeah, he was saying
I'm not a French square.
He was saying, we could go and have a drink afterwards, maybe a nice bottle of wine. But he said, I think we come from very different backgrounds, which is true. Patrick Vieira's raised in France. Jesse Marsch is raised in Wisconsin. Yes, those places are different. I don't know if that was necessarily surprising, but yeah, he seemed to be using.
You can drink wine though. It's available. And I'm from Wakefield, and I drank some wine as recently as yesterday.
And Patrick Vieira can drink. Patrick Vieira can drink beer as well if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
He could have a what do you call it? What's the beer that comes from Milwaukee? It's PBR, isn't it? Past Blue Ribbon. He could have one of them.
Yeah. Friends across the ocean.
Well, they're not friends, so maybe this will end up with Jesse Marsch headbutting him. That'll be exciting.
It's all very tedious, isn't it? That.
Well, Marsch seems to like he was saying the other week that he feels that the Premier League so far is a little bit too collegiate, that everybody's too friendly, and he tried to stir that up. He didn't shake hands with Dean Smith, although he said that was an apology. He made that as a mistake.
Radrizzani loves the disruptor. He's come in to disrupt things.
Yeah. Who else didn't he? I think it was the
Wolves had a bit of bad beef in it. Was it that maybe?
Yeah, we had arguments. Who did we play in the last match? Watford. I think there was another game where he's just not bothered with the handshake at the end because he just doesn't play by the rules, unless it's obviously the Red Bull Company handbook. But
that was very catty.
You'll
get some pelters for that.
He's a company man. He says so himself. He's risen through the ranks, and so maybe him and Vieira a little bit. And so he was saying everybody in England a little bit too nice. They're all having a drink after the game and stuff, and it's all fine. But he wants a bit of needle. So maybe this is the time for it. He's going to take on Patrick Vieira, Roy Keane style.
Okay. There's some building work going on there, Michael, and you're.
Yes.
And again, we're just enjoying the fruits of you being on that side of the house.
It's Jesse Marsch headbutting a steel girder just to psych Patrick Vieira out. That's what we can hear.
Seems to be Conor Gallagher is their best player.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I said they'll go down. I thought they might go down this season. Maybe next year when he goes back to Chelsea and they can not use him. They'll just have him just so no one else can. He's
a weird one. Whenever I've tried to watch Crystal Palace, mainly to see what he looks like, is Gallagher any good? Did we miss out stuff? He hasn't looked great, but you can't argue with 8 goals, 3 assists, England call up, influential, and they lost against Chelsea without him at the weekend in the FA Cup semi-final. So he's obviously doing something, but I've never... Yeah, I can well believe that it's true that he's hiding his good performances for when I'm not watching, but I've never looked at him and thought, oh, that's the player we needed. But then I guess a player would have been helpful.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've looked at him and thought, he'd have fit well. But,
and he's a midfielder, which is we've not had many of.
Yeah, that's better than no midfielders, isn't it?
But he didn't want to come, did he? So he made his little bed of eagle feathers and lied down in it and scored 8 goals.
Yeah, so they're 13th. Yeah, they're only 4 points better off than us, and that's by virtue of 4 draws. They've played a game fewer than us, which will be made up through the week. Tomorrow, Newcastle. They I'm just looking at their last 5. It's like drawn one, lost. They're kind of just that mid-table all over the place. No idea what we're going to get. Oh, they do have a positive goal difference or not?
I think we can win this, and I think we should aim to win it.
Yeah,
let's just have it all over and done with, please.
The games that come afterwards do make this just one that it would be a good idea to win it.
Yeah, it just gives us the breathing space. I know it doesn't look like we've been kind of expecting Burnley to go on a great run all season, haven't we? And it's never happened. But if they did, it would be nice if we were just too far for them to pull back into it. And you kind of expect Everton, despite the fact they've got an absolute idiot managing them, they'll probably just about get 2 or 3 more wins, won't they?
Although they've got similar level of teams coming up that we have. They're playing all the top sides. Although we have Arsenal.
Is Frank Lampard going to complain about that? It's not fair that we have to play these games.
They should have played them all, get them all out of the way when Rafa was still there, so he didn't have to suffer. But yeah, they've got Leicester next, Liverpool, Chelsea, Leicester again, Watford, Brentford, Palace, and then end at Arsenal. So it's that Liverpool and Chelsea need to put them in their place, don't they? Because actually, yeah, Brentford are obviously just going to win every game between now and the end of the season, because that's how they do. Palace, and who knows about Arsenal? What a mystery. But yeah, when we have City, Arsenal, Chelsea, it's really the other three games that we need to concentrate on.
Well, that projection has got us finishing on 38, so that thinks we're going to get another 5 points, which is win one of those games and draw the other two, isn't it? And presumably lose to those three teams.
I wonder who they're projecting us to beat specifically. Manchester City? And then we draw against a couple of others?
Well, I was starting to read about their method of how they calculate these projections, and they run like 20,000 times over. Based on...
Sounds boring.
Algorithm. I don't think they actually sit and manually calculate it. It's all just done through algorithm.
I used to do that with a set of dice and some paper.
Right. That's it. It's basically a fancy version of that. And what they come out with is us on 38 points more often than not. That's the likeliest outcome, they reckon.
Well, I hope it is all based on us beating Crystal Palace and then drawing with City and Arsenal. Because then it would probably change the calculations again. It would put us then as like, oh, well, they're probably going to beat Chelsea, Brighton and Brentford. So that would be good. Because then it would put us on like 80 points. So it would be cool.
Yes. I do share that feeling that you just expressed, Michael, which is win this one and then we can all just relax, and that kind of puts it all to bed, because you've seen like Newcastle have tipped over that sort of 36, 37 points. They're done and dusted now. They're fine, aren't they? That's not a gap that's going to be closed between now and the end of the season. Just get it done. I've had enough.
And let's get it done and then enjoy it for a bit, and let Jesse can settle down and we can all just get ready for next season without any dramas.
It's hard to know which way this one's going to go. I can't quite call this one. I think we've got it well within us to do any of the three outcomes that are possible here, because it's that is essentially, I mean, if you are to class us as being in the lower end of that middle group, anybody in that middle group can take points off each other.
I mean, Phillips is presumably going to be fit again now, because he's had another, 10 days or whatever it'll have been between games. I don't even know how long it's been. We've not played in ages, have we? But he's had a chance for a proper rest again. You'd think Bamford aside, probably everyone's back.
Not Tyler.
Well, yes, of the first team.
Junior Firpo?
Of the first team.
I mean, Phillips.
If we have Ayling, Dallas and midfielders fit, then I wouldn't have Firpo in the left back, truthfully. So
Phillips has been off playing golf with Click.
Okay.
And took his whole family on holiday as well. They seem to go to the same place. So that was nice. So if he's fit enough to play golf, he should be fit enough to play football, because it's strenuous. Gordon
got to walk around a bit.
Well, Gordon Strachan always used to lambast footballers, or he said he couldn't understand footballers who played golf, because if he said to them, right, we're going on a 10-mile walk, they'd all moan. But he said, you're going on a 10-mile walk, but you're going to carry this big bag of clubs and put yourself through all this effort of wanging a ball as hard as you can. They're like, oh no, yeah, that looks like that sounds great. But there is a lot of, you have to be fit to play golf. And I would hope I will say
mitigations to this. You do get old players like, Jack Nicklaus and people turning up at tournaments in their 70s and still have it around. So you're suggesting a 70-year-old man could play midfield for Leeds United?
No, but I bet they're still strong. Go and fight Jack Nicklaus and see how you get on. That's my advice to you. Cut your holiday short. Find Jack Nicklaus. Fight him.
Okay, well, he's 82 now, so you never know.
I bet he'd still knock you around. He'd teach you, put you in your place, sit you right down. Also, you've got to bear in mind he's got a stick.
Yes, that is true.
So he comes out.
The old Craig Bellamy.
But it's Tuesday morning, and so they are back now in training. But the first thing that I've seen from training was Ilan Mellier's Instagram story, which was Match's Click practicing his golf swing in the gym, demonstrating it. He's got a big stick from somewhere, and he's demonstrating how good his golf has got. So I mean, if we're going to challenge Crystal Palace to 9 holes, then maybe we'll win that.
It does feel quite hard to try and predict this one at this stage, doesn't it? I guess we'll have a better idea towards the back end of the week when they have the press conference and stuff like that.
Still won't have a clue until it kicks off.
I mean, what do you want to say about this one? Which way is it going to go? Can you feel which way this is? I genuinely can't with this one.
I oddly feel like we might win it, which is never a good thing. I think every time I predict to win this
it's because
season,
you're fucking giddy because you're on holiday. You've had a bit of sun. You've had a bit of sunshine. You've had a nice time. You're not here.
A bit of distance from West Yorkshire, and I feel much happier.
So you've suddenly become optimistic, which is never a good sign. Moscow, what do you think?
We've beaten them once, so we can beat them again. Mm-hmm. And we deserved that win as well, although it was a 94th minute Rafinha penalty. We played well against them. We won the XG for as much as that matters. I'm just looking back at the stats. We had 2 of 15 shots on target, but they only had 1 of 9. So, and both halves were saved. So, if we beat them once, we beat them again. And there is, some truth to the emotional toll of losing an FA Cup semi-final, and then the emotional toll of going to Newcastle. Takes it out of anybody, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I did it for 4 or 5 years. I was very tired by the end.
So
I don't think they're going to be driving the whole way in a 15-year-old Mazda 6. I'm going to be honest.
I
had cruise control. I do have cruise control. It's a good Mazda 6, Michael.
The drive was probably the best part, but it's the being there that will probably be them, because they used to, vibrant South London, there's a Sainsbury's at the stadium, all that kind of fun stuff. And then Croydon's got a tram, and then they go up there and obviously there's the metro, but where does it take you? So it's
Jimmy Nail in pursuit of you.
Well, exactly this. Sting haunting you, jumping out behind pillars with his mandolin.
Great. I think what I want to see from this one from a Leeds perspective, because I can't quite put my finger on what the result's going to be, I'd like to just see some evidence that the plan is actually falling into place and looks like they know what they're doing, more control, to coin a phrase that Steve Nicol might use. Just some evidence that there's been progress over this last couple of weeks in terms of the shape.
Well, they've all been off on holiday, so they won't be. It's all down to what you're going to do from now until the game. Right. So the last week has just been a week off.
A week off. Bloody hellfire. Imagine that under Bielsa. Sorry, I should ring the Bielsa bell, really, shouldn't I?
So
it must be quite a culture shift. But hopefully, though, it has. We've had lots of talk of de-stressing them. Hopefully, it has acted as a de-stressor.
Yeah.
And they've been able to just relax a little bit.
Yeah, there's worse things they could have been doing. And, the thing about Calvin's holiday is he has taken the whole family with him, and Matt Click.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
I like to think just Click went, though.
So it's that sign. I hope it will have sort of relaxed them all and chilled them all out. And then there is still so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all to work on this and then go down there, London, and beat the pants off them, Marsch style.
Great stuff.
I like to think Click and Calvin were in bunk beds, and Calvin's mum had taken some packet soup with them to give them for tea, because she can't trust the foreign food.
You're speaking from experience here, aren't you? Given that you got twin boys.
Oh, they eat anything. Christ, they're having octopus legs and stuff yesterday. The more gruesome it is, the better.
Excellent. Well, there we go then. No idea quite what's going to happen, but hope for the best, expect the worst and all that. But I guess we will see next week, won't we? So, what have we got this week then? Are you coming on for the Phil Hay show, Michael?
Nah, speak for yourself.
All right. He does most of the heavy lifting, doesn't he? Anyway, so that's
exactly
absolutely fine. Well, you enjoy the rest of your holiday, okay? And we look forward to you back next week when you're all depressed and sad. But it's sunny here in West Yorkshire. It's not too bad.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you should have stayed.
Yeah, I did a 10-mile walk yesterday on the canal, actually, practicing for our charity walk. We're going to have some more details about that coming out soon, by the way. So if you're doing that or you want to follow that, details about that. And I got blisters is about the size of it, walking along the canal path in trainers.
From 10 miles, so you need to walk 9 times further. How much, if you'd walked 9 times that distance, how do you think your feet would be?
Nah, not very good. Anyway, we'll get around to all that. Look out for the weekly show next week. We'll do all the usual stuff, match ball for Palace, propaganda, and so on and so forth. We'll return at the weekend then. We'll speak to you then.
The Square Ball Podcast.